Well, first of all, I'm definitely glad it happened prior to the weekend so we could enjoy it a little bit. But I, I mean, I'm just tired of all this winning, John. Trump slogan kind of backfires that a little bit. There's so many different angles. We'll get into a lot of it, but I really feel the first thing I felt was kind of, I don't know if you remember this, but on January 7th, the day after the insurrection or tried insurrection, however you want to call it, I texted you like at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'm just still so upset. Like, he really, I think it was probably, I can't imagine a darker day in American history. There's been times where presidents have been killed, wars, tragedies, uh, you know, like Pearl Harbor or something. But this is an actual sitting president trying to overturn an election and try to kill his own vice president and stuff. So I thought it was the darkest day in this country's history, and I felt a little bit validated and vindicated yesterday because we all thought he was just going to get away with it. We thought maybe he gets caught for the documents or this case or Georgia or this case, but this is him being indicted for his actions and leading up to January 6th and January 6th. So that's the first thing I kind of felt was that vindication. I also felt for um, the country in a way that you talk about this all the time. In MSNBC, I caught a little bit yesterday, was talking about this angle as well. It is a important day in this country, but it's a sad day in this country that the president was indicted for something he did. But I didn't feel that way. I just thought it was massively important that we did this. I think it showed the globe, it showed other governments across other countries. Hey, I know it looked a little bit crazy here for a little bit, but we definitely, like, I wonder what Russia thinks. I wonder what Putin thinks when he sees that we actually went after Trump in a healthy way. Two more things I want to touch upon. This is the first time, John, that he's been indicted for something he did as president, right? Like the bribery or the hush money case was something prior to 2016, and then or leading up to it. The documents case was post presidency, in theory. This is the first time a president has been charged with something he did while he was at the chair, and so that's important too. And the last thing is really, this is a different case, right? The hush money case, there's arguments around it, right? You could claim that Michael Cohen was vindictive. You could claim that this money wasn't for that. The documents case, he's claiming that he had the right to take the documents, and we were negotiating with I forgot the company or the records people to give them back. So I didn't do anything wrong. In this case, there's the defense is that he's an idiot, right? Because they're not going after him for inciting a riot or anything like that. They're going after him because he lied about knowing that the election was stolen, and then trying to obstruct justice off of that lie. And the only defense to that is, I'm so stupid that I don't know how electoral college works. I thought these people were fine, et cetera, et cetera. And I've seen a lot of that on MSNBC too. They're saying his defense is he has to play dumb and be an idiot. And as you know, he loves to say he's the smartest guy in the world. So those are the kind of the first things that popped in my mind.
Yeah, well, to the point you were making too about the defense and like he's an idiot. I think one of the things that's important, and they said that part of the reason why, when if you followed the TikTok of when they actually made the indictment, they talked about how the jury went home, but the foreman stayed, and I'm still trying to figure out this footing because you and I talk about it all the time. I don't want to be one of those people who didn't know a process yesterday, saw two reports on it on cable news, and now I'm an expert, right? But I'm going to just tell you what they told us, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. But what we learned was the jury was sent home, but the foreman stayed. And quickly, a lot of the analysts were tweeting and saying that, oh, that's a sign that the indictment's coming. Because evidently, is even if the jury's voted, it's up to the foreman or forewoman to actually sign the indictment and I guess join the prosecutors in presenting it to the judge. I think it's the prosecutor who decides, the prosecutor in coordination or consultation with the judge decides whether or not it's going to be sealed. But I thought it was fascinating because, and I think I sent you a quick thread on that. they said that normally when they seal an indictment, it's because they're afraid that the defendant will flee. But in this case, they wanted to make sure they sealed the indictment so that they, meaning the prosecutors in this case, could reveal it before the defendant knows anything about what's in it, so that they can't frame or shape the story. And so what was, the other thing that was amazing in the TikTok, and it's, I think I'm a bigger cable news watcher than you, but one of the things that's frustrating with me is when you see stuff cited by multiple sources on Twitter, and cable news still isn't saying anything, right? And I think the biggest tell for me, and I sent it to you, we were going back and forth. We were going back and forth so much, I think once or twice
He's
we
only
sent each
talked
other
one
the
time.
same
Yeah.
thing, not realizing the other one had already sent it. But the other thing that was a big tell for me was when C-SPAN didn't say there were charges. They just said Jack Smith is having a press conference. And the minute, and Jack Smith ain't just having a press conference to, uh, for no reason. Yeah. So, but one of the things I was going to try to say, and this part of the reason this goes back to what I was talking about the ceiling of it, is what you're already seeing from the Trump defense in the first 24 hours is they're misrepresenting what the case is, right? They're trying to say that Trump is being punished for speech, and Jack Smith has gone through made painstaking efforts to make sure that he said that no, Trump is not being punished for speech. He has a right to say everything, and he went so far as to say he has a right to lie, right? But what he doesn't have a right to do, and then they listed what he did wrong. So it's fascinating because the people on the right, the people who buy the spin of the lawyers, and the lawyers have gotten pushback when they've gone on non-Fox outlets, and maybe even on Fox outlets, or right-wing outlets, I should say, is they're trying to frame it as Trump is being punished for free speech, but that's not the case.